With an update to a WECT investigation. New Hanover County's embattled elections director is out of a job tonight. The state elections board officially terminating DeNay Harris. WECT investigative reporter Connor Smith has the latest tonight. Connor, this decision was months in the making.
Yeah, Harris was on paid suspension longer than she actually worked for New Hanover County. In March, the county elections board petitioned the state to remove Harris from the job, and it took nearly 3 months for that to become official. Sam Hayes, the executive director of the North Carolina State Board of Elections, sent this letter to Harris and the county board today. It notes his decision to fire Harris, but doesn't specify why. Harris and her attorney, Gary Shipman, did not respond to me today. Hayes had actually made that decision 20 days ago, but the state elections board had the option of deferring it and holding a hearing. They ultimately opted not to, and that means Harris was officially off the job at midnight. Here's a look at how this process has played out. On March 19th, New Hanover County placed Harris on paid suspension. On March 25th, the county elections board filed a removal petition. Then on May 1st, Harris opposed that petition in her formal response. On May 20th, Hayes made his decision to fire Harris, and that decision became official today. Now, I've spent the last 3 months working to get answers about why Harris was suspended and ultimately lost her job. My full report outlining what I've learned and what comes next for this elections board airs tonight at 6. Connor Smith, WECT News.